In this tutorial, we will learn about the Boolean intersect command in Maya. We will be building the scooter. Let's get started. So open Maya and preload your images at the top view and in the front view. As you can see, I have imported my reference images. Okay, so first let's trace the outline of our scooter from the side view. So let's go to our side view. Then let's go to create and then CV curve tool. Then let's start drawing our curve. We'll be drawing the entire scooter outline. So let's get started. Okay, once you're done, press enter or return on your keyboard to end the command. Make sure to close your curves right here. So to do that, make sure you're in surfaces and then go to edit curves and then click on open and close curves. So that closes our curve right here. Next, let's create a nerve sphere and make it cover our whole scooter. So go to create, nerve primitives, and then sphere. And then let's just rotate this. So I will just type in 90 in my rotate X. And then let's just scale this up. So our goal is for the sphere to cover this entire area here of our scooter. Okay, maybe let's go to our vertices and just pull the points here. But don't exceed the corner from the side. Same goes for here. The intersection command only works if the first object is inside the other. So our first object is the sphere. So bear that in mind. So now let's go to our top view. Before that, let's just adjust it here. Then let's go to our top view. Then let's just straighten these vertices out. So let's just select them. And then use the scale command to straighten them out. And then let's just move them. So we're following this outline right here. So let's select these vertices here and then use the scale command to align them together. And then let's move them also according to our top view. Okay, so now let's go to object mode, and then let's go to our perspective. Okay, here in our perspective, select your curve that you created before, then just move it to the side. Now let's duplicate it. So go to edit, duplicate, then move it to the side. Okay, now comes the tricky part. First, we need to loft the two curves together. So select both of them, then go to surfaces and loft. Then I'm going to press 5 on my keyboard. Okay, so we're going to use the boolean intersection command. So go to edit Nurbs, booleans, intersection tool. Okay, first, select your sphere and then press enter or return on your keyboard. Then select your loft surface, then press enter or return on your keyboard. As you can see, we just created the chassis of our scooter. It's quite nice. So let's move on to the fenders. So let's go to our side view again, and let's trace our rear fender from there. Let's go to our side view, and then go to create, then CV curve tool, and then let's trace our rear fender. Okay, so let's zoom in. Okay, once you're done, press enter or return on your keyboard. Again, remember to close all of your curves. So go to edit curves and then make sure to close the curve. Okay. Make sure also that your curve is following the reference photo. Alright. And then let's just go to the perspective view. And then move it to the side. Okay. Now let's go back to the side view and let's create a sphere. So go to create, Nurbs primitives, and then sphere. Let's rotate this in X about 90 degrees. And then let's just move this towards our rear fender and then scale it up. Okay. Okay, then let's go to the top view. And then let's scale this by the x-axis just to match our reference. And also let's select all of these curves right here. And then let's align them together. These curves right here as well. Let's align them together. Alright, so let's go to our object mode again, and then let's go to our perspective view. Let's duplicate our curve. So go to edit, duplicate, and then let's move it to the other side. Next, let's select two of our curves and then make a loft. Alright, and then let's select our rear fender, go to edit Nurbs, booleans, and then this time we'll select difference tool. Let's select our sphere, press enter, Then select our loft surface, then press enter. As you can see, we've created our rear fender. Now let's do the front fender. So let's go to our side view. Again, let's use the create CV tool to trace a curve around our front fender. Okay, once you're done, press return or enter on your keyboard again. And then make sure to close your curves. So go to edit curves, close curves. Let's just make sure these CVs are straightened up. Okay, next, let's go to our object mode. And then let's create a sphere. Let's move it to our front fender. And then rotate it in X. And scale it up. Okay, so let's go to our top view. And then just scale it down in Z. Now let's select the vertices of our sphere and line them up. And then maybe let's just move it a little bit further. Okay, so let's go to our object mode. Then let's go to our perspective. So I'm gonna press 4 on my keyboard to view within wireframe. And then I'm gonna select our curve. And let's center its pivot point. Then let's duplicate the curve and then move it to the side. Okay, now I'm gonna press 5 and loft these two curves together. Go to surfaces and loft. Now let's select our let's go to our edit Nurbs, booleans, and then difference. Let's select our sphere, press enter. Then let's select our loft surface and then press enter. Okay. Now let's just delete the bottom part. Next, let's create the seat of our scooter. So let's go to our top view. Okay, I will be creating a Nurbs circle. So let's go to create, Nurbs primitives, and then circle. Then let's move the circle to our seat area. And then I'm going to scale it up. Okay. After that, I'm going to go inside and then select the control vertex. And then match our vertices. Okay, so let's go back to object mode. Let's select our curve, go to perspective, and make sure place it on top of our scooter. Let's just scoot this vertices here inside. Okay. Now let's duplicate this curve. So go to edit, duplicate, and then let's go to our side view. And let's move the second curve up. Maybe let's rotate it as well to match our side view. Okay, then let's go back to our perspective. So let's select both of the curves, then go to surfaces, then loft. Alright, and then next, select your curve at the top, go to surfaces, and then planar to close it up. Okay, maybe let's pull this down a little bit, and then make them intersect our scooter. Okay, next, let's create the headlights for our scooter. So let's go to our side view. Okay, so first I'm going to create a sphere. So I'm going to go to create, Nurbs primitives, and then sphere. Let's move this up, and then let's rotate it at the side. So I'm going to set a rotation of -90. Okay, so let's just scale this up and then match our photo. Next, I will select the vertices of our sphere and then select these vertices here and line them up. Let's also scale them up as well. Okay. Then let's go to object mode and maybe scale this down. And then point it up. Okay. Now let's add a cylinder. So go to create, Nurbs primitives, then cylinder. Let's move it towards our image and then scale it down. Make it a little bit longer, and let's rotate it to match our photo. Let's scale it a little bit. Okay, and then maybe we can select the vertices here, scale them down, and then move them inside our sphere. So let's go to our object mode. Let's view it in our perspective. Okay, here under our cylinder, I'm going to go to isoform and then select the edge isoform and then surfaces, planar to close it. Next, I'm going to add a torus. So let's go to create, Nurbs primitives, and then torus. Let's place it on the front of our headlights. So I'm going to rotate it and then move it up. Maybe let's alter some of the inputs. So let's go to our inputs. Let's make the height ratio to 0.25. And with that, let's scale it up a bit. And let's make it intersect our sphere. Going next, let's do the handlebars. So for the handlebars, it's just a sphere. So go to Nurbs primitives and sphere. So with the sphere selected, let's go inside to select its vertices. Then let's line up the edges of our sphere. And then scale the middle vertices down. Okay. From this shape, we can now scale this up. For our handlebars. and then let's just rotate it. So let's type in 90 in our X and make sure to place it. So let's go to our side view to place it alongside our reference. Okay. So from our top view, this is what it looks like. So we don't have to follow the image references anymore. We're almost there. Let's just follow the length of it. And then with the same sphere, let's duplicate it. And then move the second sphere to the side. And then scale it down for a handle. Now let's duplicate our handle and move it to the other side. So let's go back to our perspective. As you can see, we've created the handlebars. Let's just create another cylinder to connect our headlights with our scooter. So go to create, Nurbs primitives, cylinder. Let's go to our side view. And then let's move the cylinder at the bottom of our headlights. Let's maybe go to the inputs and reduce its radius to 0.5. And then let's scale it up. Maybe let's reduce this to 0.25. And then let's rotate our cylinder a little bit. Make sure it intersects both our scooter and our headlights. And the last thing we would make for our scooter are the wheels. So let's go to our side view. I will use a Nurbs sphere. So let's go to create, Nurbs primitives, then sphere. I'm going to move it towards our front wheels. And then let's rotate it 90 and X. Then I'm going to scale it up. Then let's go to our top view. Then let's select these control vertices here and then line them up. Then move them to match our reference. So let's select these vertices here as well. And then line them up and move them. So let's go to our object mode. And then let's go to our perspective. Okay, now I'm gonna select the component selection and then turn on hulls. I will select the middle hull and maybe scale it down. To flatten our sphere. Okay, so next I will just duplicate the same sphere, then move it to the side. Let's go to our side view, and then let's just reduce the scale of this second sphere to match our mugs. Let's also just flatten this up, and then let's move it to intersect our sphere. Okay, so let's just reduce the scale of this wheel here, and then let's move this inside. Let's duplicate the sphere here. Okay, now let's just create the bolts. So let's select our sphere and then duplicate it. Scale it down to match our bolts. Let's go to our perspective. and then move it up. Let's go back to our side view and then duplicate it. That's Control D in your keyboard as a shortcut. Okay, now let's select these 4 spheres here and then duplicate it to the other side. Okay, once your wheel is done, let's just select them all, then go to Edit, and then Group. Let's center our pivot. So go to Modify, Center Pivot. And then let's duplicate this. Then let's duplicate this. And then let's move it to the back side of our scooter. Okay, so now we're done. As you can see, the scooter is complete. And this concludes this tutorial about the booleans, intersection tool, and Nurbs.